Basically, everyone needs to pay attention to the grip for serving. Personally, I hold it this way. In fact, many of our national team players also do this when serving. The grip needs to vary. It's definitely different from your normal stroke. Only then will your wrist have a greater range of motion, including a larger angle of friction. Because this way, it can be a bit too stiff, may not spin well. Some players prefer to use the normal grip when playing. But generally, when serving side spin or other spins, it's different. At this point, the trajectory will change. Another is to focus on generating spin on the ball. Your arm swing can't be too short. You need to give yourself enough time to spin when making contact with the ball. If your movement is this small, it will definitely be difficult to generate spin. And how you can combine power at the moment of serving. Also, give yourself enough time to execute the serving motion. For example, if I've already reached this ball, but I can't say that I've waited too long for this stroke. The ball hasn't dropped yet. I used a low serve motion to execute a high toss. So this ball definitely won't have good quality. It's about how you reasonably combine your movement with your own action. To make this action relatively smoother, to give the ball's friction more room, because you need to create spin. You can't be too close to the ball. It's hard to generate spin. So you need to give yourself some space to create spin. For a backspin, I need to toss it up relatively high. In the future, the combination of this pull and tossing the ball will be important. Your own serving action needs to be practiced and trained regularly. When I pull, I don't actually pull too much. But you must have the feeling of combined force. You need to find the ball after it comes down and then brush it. The closer you are to the table from this position, you definitely cannot serve a high-quality ball. From here, it's definitely easiest to generate spin. So everyone should pay attention to this spin serve. The contact point of the ball, including the space where your hand pulls back, this actually requires some spatial awareness. Now, how do you serve the ball with a low, flat arc? My personal suggestion is to focus on your center of gravity. Many aspects are not controlled by hand to keep the ball low or flat. It's all about the center of gravity. The center of gravity needs to be lowered. Many shots require using the center of gravity to lower the ball's arc. Many players may stand too high. When they serve like this, it's hard to control. Sometimes they may serve well. But when his serve is poor, the consequences can be quite severe and inconsistent. So I recommend to everyone, you must focus on your serve. Just like when we play, you need to lower your center of gravity. The trajectory of the ball depends on your center of gravity. You need to serve it at a lower height. You have to rely on your center of gravity. Whether it's topspin or backspin, it all depends on your center of gravity to control the ball. Hello everyone, I am Yana. Today I will share two serving techniques that I often use in competitions. I tend to prefer a forehand attacking style. So I think for me, I will pay more attention to my aggressive play during the first 3 strokes. Therefore, my serves mainly focus on side spin and no spin. Side spin helps me create a better offensive position during these first 3 strokes. No spin might be effective against some familiar backhand flicks, which are well known. I aim to limit these athletes' serves. I mainly focus on side spin and no spin as the key components. I also have some additional techniques to complement them. Let me show you the side spin serve. For the side spin serve, I usually aim for the opponent's forehand side, short. Serving straight can be more aggressive. I hope the opponent uses their forehand to receive my serve. That might work better for my attack. I will try to serve a bit straighter. This way, when the opponent jumps and counter loops with their backhand, it will be more challenging. This may also reduce the quality of his topspin. If he uses a forehand to receive the serve, it may make my offense easier. With this forehand short ball, when the serves are more consistent, the straight drop shot can create pressure. Then I will add a variation with a backhand flick. This makes his position during the topspin less comfortable. The main goal is still to disrupt his first attack. One reason is that the straight serve from this side is more direct. Then I will serve a tricky backhand flick. This way he can be prepared to twist while jumping. Pulling will disrupt his initial attack. And then there's my decision to spin or not to spin. Essentially, it also begins with the sideways spin action. Then there's a shift between spinning and not spinning. In fact, it involves both forehand short and backhand short strokes. The key is that most players receiving serves rely on twisting and pulling. So in serving, we also emphasize this. How to disrupt the opponent's pull. The first requirement is that the serve must be straight. Then try to serve the ball as low and fast as possible. This way, the time for the opponent to move from side to side will be greatly reduced. Their pressure on receiving the serve will also increase. Then there are some long ball combinations. Because you cannot only serve to one spot to control the opponent. Other spots should mainly focus on control. The main focus is still on the forehand short game. The main focus is still on the forehand short game. Then the remaining target is to restrict him. This straight line should be as straight as possible. A position like this is more favorable. Now for the backhand, this small triangle. I generally prefer to say slightly from the outside in. Try to make this ball curve inward a bit. This ball could be countered by the opponent. In this position, the opponent can easily counter. But in this position, the ball needs to curve back. So he might have to lift his foot for protection. It will positively impact my subsequent attack. Essentially, it's the backhand short in this position. In this position, the forehand short should be played more straight. Being able to angle it outward a bit more might be ideal. Then, combine it with some variations of long shots. Essentially, I have two systems for my serve and attack phase.
Read more about table tennis on my blog, PingSunday.com. Get free ebook and coaching advices. See you in the next video.